Hello, my beautiful souls. Tirza Schaefer here, and I want to talk about a vision I had of Seshat, which was, and big shout out to MARCE HILFERTY at this. At this point, I'm going to put her website link into the description box because that was during a session I had with her, healing session hypnosis. She does a special kind of hypnosis. Also, she's very much into astrology, witchy stuff, and she is such a wonderful person. So, yeah, and a great healer. So, big shout out to her. So, it happened during a hypnosis session I had with her, and it's like the whole session is a lot more complex, but at that point it was about like knowing that there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so I was getting I was having a vision of the goddess Seshat, and she is an incredible goddess. She is the cosmic architect. Like, she's all about geometry. She would be invoked, and in the ceremonies when Pharaoh opened a building site. So there was a great big ceremony. She was part of that. She invented the hieroglyphs in her mythology, which was later then ascribed to Thoth. And the god Thoth, and the variations of the whole mythology, obviously, especially when you go by region, by timeline, definitely by timeline as well. But she was also, even before like Egypt proper as a as a state or country, ancient Egypt was the making. She was already kind of famous lady of the stars and magic, and she's incredible. But anyway, so talking about divine geometry, you probably be most familiar with that through like Islamic kind of patterns, tires, because they don't depict things as they are, and they work with geometry, with geometric patterns, which are so, so beautiful. I love that. So, obviously, divine geometries is in a lot of cultures, but that is really such a beautiful expression of it in art, in architecture, that I wanted to point that out here. It's very, very beautiful. So, and has a deeply spiritual background, obviously. And so on my website I've written about the goddess Seshat, and if you want to read about it, I'm putting the link below also. So it's like when you tell yourself like affirmations, oh, I'm perfect, there's nothing wrong with me, or things like that, usually when somebody tells you about this, then you tend to jump in your mind to things that are actually wrong with you, which you think that are actually wrong with you, whatever that is, like my hair's too flimsy, my belly's too big, whatever, anything, or I'm not completely healthy, I'm not a genius because I can't understand what the golden ratio is. Apart from that, it's perfect proportions kind of thing. But, the mathematical side of it, which is actually really interesting. But if you go to Wikipedia, I really do not understand it. with probably if I sat down with a proper math teacher, I'm just gonna read this to you, what it says on Wikipedia here. In mathematics, two quantities are in the golden ratio if their ratio is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger of the two quantities, expressed algebraically for quantities A and B, with A is greater than B is greater than 0. A is in a golden ratio to B if, yeah, and it goes on like that. So I'm not even going to go there. So it goes about where the Greek letter phi denotes the golden ratio. So, and blah, blah. Okay, you don't have to understand it. I don't understand it. If you understand it, absolutely great. I was kind of mediocre, I think, in math. So, but, you know, there's one sentence here. The golden ratio was called the extreme and mean ratio by Euclid, who was a Greek mathematician and logician and something else, you know, geometer, yeah, you know, so he was very much into geometry. And the divine proportion by Luca Pacioli, and also goes by several other names. So Luca Pacioli was a contemporary of, was it Leonardo da Vinci? Yes, it was Leonardo. I always mix him up with Michelangelo. I always have to like, hang on, which one? So he was a Franciscan friar and collaborator with Leonardo da Vinci, and an early contributor to the field now known as accounting. So he was like, he's also known as the father of accounting, Italian friar, which is a monk, some sort of monk. So yeah, he lived from 1447 to 19th of June 1517. If you need the timeline, you can always look that up as well. Just put in golden ratio, it'll come, you know, it'll come up. But anyway, so I've got you know, this is this spiral, this never-ending spiral, which is always kind of, you know, growing. And let me just share that quickly so you can see that. Screen share. Should we do? There we go. There's a golden spiral. Okay, it's not golden here, but you get what I mean. You know, just quickly. That is also from Wikipedia, so you know, I'm obviously gonna attribute my sources there, but you know, it's all there. Because I just, you know, had to quickly look that up. But anyway, so the spiral is usually, you know, you can see it in the house of a snail or a shell, or, you know, these kind of spirally things, and you know, patterns, and they're also symbol of the goddess, the divine feminine. And so I've put that golden spiral on the picture of Seshat. Let me just see if I can show that to you for a minute. Okay, not right now. It's just going to take too long. But anyway, I'm gonna put it as a thumbnail, so you have the idea. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. You know, when I talk about that golden spiral, perfect proportion thing. So my vision was of the goddess Seshat, who doesn't feel warm and fuzzy to me, like, you know, like where you feel like cozy, like a little baby in her mama's arms, you know. So nothing like that. She feels a lot more removed and neutral, you know, neutral. So I was like, okay, that doesn't make me feel all that perfect. Or she doesn't make me feel all that perfect. But then she showed me my body, and we went inside, and we saw all, you know, there were like a cluster of cells looked a bit like, when frogs lay eggs, you have like these clusters, whatever the biological proper term for it is, I don't know. But so I saw these clusters, and then one by one, it was like tiny little balls or something, one by one filled with, lit up with this bright, beautiful light, and there were these little spirals going in there, those golden spirals, right? And they were like, this is the perfect ratio. So all in creation, you're part of creation and you are perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. And I'm a head person. So I need to understand everything on a logical level, first of all, before I can actually trust it to kind of, to go deeper and integrate and things like that, which is sometimes a big blockage, to get to where I want to be with healing and stuff, because it kind of stops here, and I need to make an effort to switch my logical brain off and, go deeper down, but I'm getting a lot better at that as time goes on. So, but that helped me in that moment so much to see, like, yes, I am perfect, and it doesn't matter if, whatever I perceive when I look in the mirror, what is wrong with me, or when I look at my intellectual abilities or the lack thereof, in some cases, or like not enough, what I perceive in my self-judgment to be like not enough, not perfect, and then I saw like those tiny little cells that you can only see under a microscope, of course, with a great solution, and whatever smaller parts are in there, you need to even up the solution. Those of you who have some sort of a bit of a scientific background will know what I'm talking about. And even if you had a kid as a kid or something, we had like a little plaything to work with and explore things, small things. But you get the idea. So it's like a giant magnifying glass, and then you can't see that with your bare eye. So you go in there and you see that, and all of a sudden, all my cells, those clusters, they were like lighting up one by one, and these golden spirals, which are absolutely perfect, right? Because it's the perfect ratio. They weren't every single cell. And that is how she showed me there's nothing wrong with you. And I wanted to share that with you, especially for all those who are stuck in their heads and think like, okay, there's nothing perfect about me. I'm human. I'm not infallible. And, whatever else you think, like, that is not perfect about you. Habits, looks, abilities or lack thereof, or whatever, anything. I mean, we judge ourselves all the time. So, and then I saw, and I also realized, because Seshat is for me not like Hathor, the cow goddess. Hathor actually means abode or house of horrors. So it's Hat and Hor. Hor is for Horus, the god. And but anyway, that's where her name comes from. And the breakdown of it. Anyway, that's the cow goddess, and she's a mother goddess, and she always feels like so fucking loving. That excuse my French, but it's like the best mom in the world ever. She's so loving, so accepting, so unconditional about, like, really affectionate and soft and sweet and like a proper mama bear kind of, or mama cow kind of energy. Talking about my personal experience here. Let me know, if you've ever been having experiences with any of these goddesses. Please let me know. I'd love to hear about that. or to, you know, put in a comment, send me an email, whatever you feel like, you know, or message me on social media, doesn't matter. But anyway, you know, I'd love to hear your experiences as well. So that made me understand, and through this intellectual understanding, being able to accept the statement as a truth, you know, like I'm perfect even if I'm imperfect, right? So like all in creation is perfect, it's a perfect creation, and there's nothing wrong with it because the divine doesn't make mistakes, okay? Obviously, you know, with our ego brains, humans, definitely not without mistakes. But you know, from a divine aspect, there's nothing wrong with you. You're absolutely perfect, and there is no reason why you are not infinitely loved. And it's also, even if you don't feel that warm, fuzzy, cozy feeling that you have, like well, you know, talking about my own experience here of how to you know, that cuddly warm feeling, with Seshat doesn't feel that way. So if you don't have that kind of cuddly warm feeling, doesn't mean you're not loved. Okay, it's still there. And it doesn't matter what it feels like, it's always there. That love is always there. That unconditional love is always there. That unconditional truth of you are perfect. That unconditional truth, that truth of, you know, that divine truth of you are always loved and you are perfect. So that was such a profound experience for me in that hypnosis session. And it was, I mean, it was just a couple of minutes or so that we went through that stage of it during the session, but it was so profound. So obviously I'm talking a lot longer here about it. But you know, that's why you can see why I wanted to share that, because it's universally applicable, okay, with or without goddesses or archetypes or whatever. Divine energy is such, and I wanted to share that with you. So hopefully you can, if you have something within you that tells you that you can't believe that you can't believe you, that there's nothing wrong with you, that you're not lovable, let me tell you, you are. And with that explanation of divine geometry, I hope you know, you can relate to that, and that, you know, somebody out there who needs to hear that can accept themselves and love themselves and accept love from all sources, okay? Because you're loved unconditionally. So have a wonderful day, a wonderful life. So much love to you. And yeah, I'm gonna put all the links in the info box, and sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Bye for now. Oh, and you might wanna like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you know, so you won't miss any future you know, any future content. So bye.